Woohoo! There, Raquel Welch in the flesh. Oh, what's that? Not Raquel Welch. About the only shortcomings of Cummins, play on words there, is the coolant of the back two cylinders, 5 and 6. And there's a kit out there, real popular kit, that addresses that issues. But there's some issues with that kit as well, as who is actually good for and not good for. And there's another kit as well. Actually, is much better, and I'll show you that. Now, with that more popular kit that's out there, what they do not mention on their website, and they do it for a reason, and you won't find out later, is when you have to put that little spacer in where their hose comes in from that back plate covering the freeze plug in the back of the block. You have to it goes under the thermostat housing right there, and if you do that, that means you have to remove that tube, and that is a big no-no for us hot shotters, unless you got tens of thousands of dollars sitting aside to pay those fines, you know, because they have been popping the hoods and going underneath your trucks and making sure emissions are intact. So that's why that other kit that I'm talking about, one from Mayhem, is a lot more attractive. That, and it also costs less than the other kit as well. Right here is the most popular kit that's out there for the coolant bypass for the Cummins. There goes your little thermostat, secondary thermostat housing block that goes on the back of the block. Actually, on the back of the block, your hose takes that coolant, comes over here, and then routes into that little spacer right there, and then goes, that's above the thermostat, and the thermostat housing sits on top of this, and of course then it goes back to the radiator. But because it has this spacer right here, it causes, you know, it raises the thermostat housing that much higher, which puts it right dead center smack in the way of the crossover tube for the EGR coolant. And of course, that's a no-go for us hot shotters that want to maintain the legally for us, you know. And so, yeah, it kind of sucks, especially being as pricey as it is. Very pricey kit. Can't be used. Now, this is the other kit that I found from Mayhem down in Florida. And they actually, I think they cast or fabricate their own thermostat coolant housing with that return flow right there, that return point, which is still, it fits, and because it's, yeah, it fits up under the crossover tube, so actually it can be used. And of course, there's the hose, and it actually doesn't go in the back of the block, it goes on top of the head back there. There's a couple plugs, 4 plugs along the top of the head, and this goes into the very far one that's back there between cylinders 5 and 6. So actually, the water flow comes from all the way from the bottom of the block up through the heads, out the back of the head, and then comes back through this hose right here into the thermostat housing, and then back into the radiator. so you have good flow, unlike the other kit that's the back of the block and still leaves that hot water on the top of the heads between cylinders 5 and 6, you know, not flowing and being there stagnant, real hot. So this actually is a better kit in its design and overall usefulness by everybody out there, especially us hot shotters that want to keep our emissions intact so we don't get hit with that $10,000 fine. And of course, this is Mayhem, and I will put a link down in the description to these guys. And the kit is a lot cheaper than the other one as well. So anyhow, later.